Thank you for this opportunity. You know, it's a huge effort to get homeopathy to the first medicine in the world. What I want to share with you today is a more specific topic for homeopath, but I hope it will still be useful for the mission IFPH has. The law of vibration, it's used for remedy selection. So I want to share with you in first the law of similar, the different different angle of comprehension, clinical observation on it, comprehension of health and disease, and the homeopathic impact. And I hope we have an interesting discussion at the end. When Hahnemann writes its 24th aphorism, it's the law of similar, which we all know very well. So, but how do we understand the law of similar with the law of vibration? The law of similar is really a law. It's not a hypothesis. It's not something we can argue about. It's something we can observe in nature, in human society, and in the homeopathic medicine. It's a law which is far beyond the homeopathy. It's a law of life, and it has a concrete physical expression. When we hear an imagery, we see how a cell divides, and here's an image how a universe divides, which was captured 2 years ago. In a long run of 37 years, they could capture how the division of a universe takes place. There are the same principle in the macro and the microcosmic. And these are laws of life, and the law of similar is one of them. So understanding this, that we are trying to get into a law of life when we do our medicine, behind the law of similar, there's the law of vibration, which we use every day by using the remedies. The homeopathic medicine is a vibrational medicine that is developed at the pharmacological level from a weight-war substance which is subjected to a particular pharmaceutical process, a vibrational process, allowing to transmit the inherent vibration of its substance to the environment that surrounds it. So we are using the law of vibration to get what is inherent of each substance in its raw form, to get it broader and expand the vibration. This is our tool, one of the tools as a homeopath we use in our medicine. And understanding this, it is part of what happens every second on our earth. Everything is vibration, everything is energy. So we have here an image of the electromagnetic vibrations where it penetrates the earth. Then we have the radiation type of the wavelengths from radio, microwave, infrared, visible, ultraviolet, X-ray, gamma ray, and the scales of wavelength when we have a building, which is about this vibration, humans, butterfly, a needle point is here, protozoans, molecules, atoms, and the atomic nuclear. And we can measure the frequency and also temperatures according to it. So vibration is not something abstract, it's something very concrete and has concrete physical expressions and has concrete physical impacts on ourselves. And we can see it in another example, how the order of the vibration has a functional impact on the structure. When we have the C atom, carbon atom, on this side, we have a graphite or graphite. I don't know how you say it in English, actually. And we have it's ordered the same atom in layers, and it is very soft, so we can write with it. The same atom, not a single difference, but it is aligned in a new structure, converts it to a diamond, one of the hardest substances we have on Earth. So what I want to show with this, how atoms are arranged has an impact on the energy of the bondings, because here the bondings are so strong that nothing from the surrounding can break it. On the other hand, here it is the softest and the easiest way to integrate it on a paper. And secondly, the physical characters are changed and transmitted to the surroundings. And this means that how we arrange the atoms has an impact on the surroundings, which is has an impact on homeopathic remedies on the two sides. On the one hand, it shows that the physical process we submit a substance has an impact of changing the bonding and open up the energy. And on the other hand, that we have to understand how's the bonding of the atoms, not just the substance itself is important, but how is it arranged. So when we start from the law of similar, which Hahnemann states, behind this law, it exists because there's the law of vibration behind it. And that means that everything is energy. And this is an eternal truth, and an eternal truth which is stated from the hardest physical science, the physics, the chemistry, and in our medicine. So, but how is this energy we are working with? There are characteristics which are very specific. It never gets lost, and it is just in a continuously process of transformation, which Newton stated with its pendulum. Because in an ideal situation, I put this ball in movement, and it will never stop to pendule, because it just transmits the energy from one point to the other. And this is what we do when we prescribe a remedy. We transmit the energy to the patient. Which gives a transformational impact we hope to conduce with the patient. So this is the question behind it, what I wanted to share with you. What is the vibrational impact of each homeopathic remedy? Do we ask this question? Does it matter whether I apply Arsenicum album or phosphorus? Just from the comprehension of its energy? Does it mean when I choose tuberculinum over calcium carbonicum or vice versa? What does it mean? What do I give to the patient, and what vibrational process is going to develop in the person? What effect may I cause when I give LACHESIS instead of pulsatilla? So these are the practical questions which are behind this comprehension. And I want to share with you 3 clinical observations on these questions. I had a woman as a patient, which was a long-term patient of mine, because she came to me because she had recurrent abortions, and under the homeopathic treatment, she got pregnant. And I said, I'm a general physician, I cannot treat your baby, please go to a pediatric doctor. And as she had good experience with homeopathic treatment, she looked for a homeopathic pediatrician. The infant at the age of 8 months got respiratory trouble, cough, restlessness at night, and the colleague administered arsenicum album in repeated dosage. 7 days later presents paresthesia of the right upper limb of the left arm here, which was very scary because I have to do resonance of my child. Was this happening? Where brain cancer is starting? Many fears. And I was looking up the repertory, and there it is. Arsenicum album has this symptom. So I antidoted arsenicum album, and the paresthesia went away. And during the following month, the child shows conducts of increased fear to new persons and surroundings, weeps easily, and has constipation very difficult to manage. So what I see here that in spite of the treatment with the antidote, there were fears which were untreated and still there. So my question was, what type of vibration we put a child in contact with by giving it arsenicum album? What have this remedy, what effect on its future development has the use of this remedy in a child? Because arsenicum album is a vibration of a poison, potentially as a crude substance, and it might be deathly. And it's one of the famous poisons of getting rid of persons in our history. So I wanted to give to the audience the questions: are all remedies the same independently of their age group? Or should we consider the history? Because arsenicum is a huge, very important remedy. But for an 8-month-old child, would it be the first choice? Or the law of similar is there? Or are there other ways we can consider in this situation? This is the first question I want to lay out due to this clinical observation. And now I want to go on with the second clinical observation. A child, 6 years old. The child has nightmares, difficult sleeping. Another pediatric pediatrician administered tuberculinum C200 monthly, which is also widely used for mental illness in children, adolescents, difficult sleeping. And widely, the child got better, yeah? It did sleep better, but after 3 months, the child starts with recurrent obstructive bronchitis. Sleep got better. So what do we see? Yeah, the law of Herring, definitely. The law of cure from the above downwards. But was it the best choice? I start to give calcium carbonium and then pulsatilla. I instructed and teach the parents to change their conduct with their child to improve bonding during day and night. And with this treatment, the child improves. It does not have sleep troubles, and it does not get rid of all the respiratory troubles. So what do we learn here? This child, what do we put it in contact with by using tuberculinum? What does this affect on its future? And tuberculinum, we have to understand, this is the vibration of the eternal disease. once you have tuberculosis, our body is not capable of getting rid of the mycobacterium. So, and all the symptoms are related to loneliness and yearning to the transcendent yearning due to despair of life. This is why it is the huge disease of the romantic epic time, when all the composers died of tuberculosis, because it was this yearning to get to the afterlife where it is better. So I wanted to lay out the question, what impact have nosodes on the vibration of our patients? What vibrational doors do we open by use specific nosodes? Just to consider, to ask ourselves, because it might be very useful, but maybe we have to differentiate its use due to the comprehension of its vibration. The third observation I want to share with you is a woman, 44 years old. She is HIV positive. She was infected by her husband. She's highly impressive, sensitive to possible danger from substances. She has a high sex drive. She's separated, but as a separated woman, she sustains a lover relationship with a married man. And I first prescribed phosphorus and then pulsatilla, little or practically no effect. And I changed to LACHESIS. And the woman recovers a certain self-esteem, does not feel dirty anymore, get rid of this sense of I'm HIV. She just can feel again comfortable with herself and her body, and she gives up the lover relationship and improves greatly her relationship with her children, which she had left out in all this process of health process. And she becomes much more secure in getting involved with the surrounding, losing this fear of getting danger or poisoned by the surrounding. So when to give a snake poison? This woman, HIV positive, has already a certain vibration which includes an alteration of her sexual energy, because the HIV has this vibration, this virus, of destroying the coordination of the T helper cells, and in the consciousness really is impressive when you work with HIV patients that every single one has a specific approach and an alteration of their sexual energy. It's very difficult for them to get a healthy sexual bonding. So the benign substances like phosphorus and pulsatilla were not strong enough in this case, although the law of similitude was quite good. But the comprehension here, LACHESIS has in the repertory the mind delusion, he has suffered wrong, and also about to be poisoned. So one side it was a more adequate medicine, but greatly due to the vibration, it is a snake poison, which was the vibration the person already was in due to its infection with HIV. So what I wanted to share with you is that we start to comprehend the vibrational force of each remedy beyond the mere repertory, when we have to choose between 2 or 3, 4 substances. So the comprehension of vibration in substances comes from that the natural state of life is harmony, where we can all evolve together integrated, where we can always interchange and renew and improve. This is why healing is possible, because in nature there's always the solution. So when we have the comprehension of what is a human being, we have the inner vital force, which in the same logic of the electromagnetic slide I showed you, where the energy from the stronger goes to finer vibrations, the same thing happens within us, where we have the more subtle force of our mind, sentiments, and getting everything more materialized till we get down to the physical body. This is the structure, the model of structure of who we are as a human being, where we have the free will, which is between the eternal vital force and the structure of the personality, where our purpose of life is to integrate harmoniously, and we can assimilate all nature's elements and get in vibrational contact with them, and this will give us an inner and an outer well-being. So as life, we should go this route, intrinsically, harmoniously creating and well-being. But many of us take this route, and there were happening things in our lives where we assimilated disturbing experiences, which generates alteration of the axis of the neuroendoimmune system, and therefore our integration in life. And there comes the homeopathic remedy, looks for the law of similar, due to the law of similar, to put to this trauma or to these situations a similar vibration, so that we can get the change and can go to this route again. Which means that where there was the inner conflict of the assimilation of an experience, we liberate this emotional conflict with homeopathy and with the conscious process of our understanding, because we have to align our free will. And this has an impact on body structure, function, integration, and we reestablish health. Using this model, we have to ask, I think, ourselves, what is the difference between aim of cure and the possible iatrogenic, energetic procedure we do with homeopathic? And I ask these questions in order to improve our clinical observation and practice. I just want to invite you of this huge community to share more observation on it, because homeopathy is a very powerful vibrational tool. And I think we have to show our colleagues that this vibrational tool has concrete physical impacts, and we can do harm and we can do well with it, because if not, they won't respect it. So concluding what what I wanted to share with you, the aspects, resuming what I was talking about, to start use homeopathic remedies according to the deeper comprehension of its vibrational energy of each substance and its way of integration in the physical process of the human body. There's the difference of what I meant with benign substances of phosphorus, which is inherent in our body, versus LACHESIS. Consider the criteria of certain age groups and the comprehension of the vibration of our patients according to their disease and biography. And I think this is very important to revise in our practice, to hold up the second aphorism Hahnemann says, the highest ideal of cures rapid, gentle and permanent restoration of the health, or removal and annihilation of the disease in its whole extent in the shortest, most reliable and most harmless way on easily comprehensible principles. Many thanks for listening, and I hope these observations and angle of comprehensions will induce a fruitful discussion in our community. And this is part of our group where I work, Studios Therapeuticus, where what I share with you is part of the group work we do. Many thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Iris. Now it is time for discussion and asking questions and having discussions. So those who wish to ask questions, please go to the participant list and raise your hand so that we can call your name for asking question or making your comment. First one is Dr. Beatrice Jessner from Germany. Dr. Beatrice.
Hello, hello, Dr. Iris. Many greetings from Germany to Chile. And only we could talk in German now. Hello. And thank you very, very much for your very interesting aspect, making us aware that we are using energetic and vibrational remedies. This is in the everyday work. Sometimes perhaps we forget about this. And also Dr. Shai yesterday was explaining very well how it is working with the waves. So I agree that as you have been talking about that child with Arsenicum album, and you got a bit scared, okay? And your question was, we should also think about the age, because Arsenicum album would be a remedy more for age of older people or more adults. Is that right? Was that the question also?
Yeah, that in child of 8 months has not had experiences or had been in contact, especially with not any poison. It had not received any conventional medicine. A very good mother milk. So in comparison to a person, maybe a minor worker or yes, who has a lot of medicine intake, where there's a high level of intoxication already in his vibration.
So I could tell a little story about Arsenicum baby I had in my practice. I'm having a lot of little children and babies because of eczema, asthmatic disorders, allergies. And that was very special. It was a little baby. I was looking and they cannot talk. The mothers can tell little things, but it's a difficult situation. So we have to observe a lot if we are treating babies. So this baby was a bit strange, was looking so skeptical. I said, how is that possible? A little baby, that expression in the eyes. And the mother told me that during the pregnancy, she had a big shock because in her, the next apartment, somebody was dying and she was close to that person, pregnant. So that was a certain situation. I gave Arsenicum album with very good effect on that little boy. So the asthma went away, the skin eruptions went away. So there can be situations also with babies, you can use Arsenicum. In your case, you got a bit scared because you got kind of paralysis of the arm. We never know.
I was not the doctor. I was not the doctor.
For this. So perhaps the remedy was giving too much. And also with your case with tuberculinum, C200 every month, that can be too much. So I am treating many little children, and normally I don't see bad effects with our homeopathic remedies, but we will never, I always observe. I don't make a repetition in a certain way every week, 1C30. So we don't know, perhaps in that child with arsenicum problems, they were giving too much of the arsenicum. And the only way we can help afterwards is to antidote what you also did and look for the better remedy. Yes, okay.
Okay.